பேர் சிதம்பரம் அண்ணாமலை. இங்கே எல்லாருக்கும் சிடினா தெரியும். இவர் துபாயில் ஒரு முன்னணி நிறுவனத்தில் QHS மேனேஜராக இருக்கிறார். போதுமா?
இவர்கள் ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ். இவர்கள் தெய்வானை அருணாச்சலம். பனங்குடியில் பிறந்து அரண்மனை சிறுவையில் வாக்கப்பட்ட இவர் ஒரு பெண் தொழிலதிபர். துபாயில் ஒரு இன்சூரன்ஸ் புரோக்கரேஜ் ஏஜென்சி நடத்திக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. வெரி சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல் உமன் ஆண்டர்பிரனர். சரி தேவா, அடுத்த செஷன் என்னன்னு பாப்போமா?
IBCN.
அடுத்ததாக ஒரு UnConferencing செஷன். நம்ம எல்லாருக்குமே பிராண்டிங் அப்படிங்கிறது எவ்வளோ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்னு தெரியும். ஒரு சின்ன பேப்பர் இருந்ததுன்னா கூட நம்ம என்ன சொல்லுவோம், போய் ஜெராக்ஸ் எடுத்துகிட்டு வா தம்பி, இதை போய் ஜெராக்ஸ் எடுத்துகிட்டு வாங்க அப்படின்னு. பட் அந்த இடத்துல ஜெராக்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறது கம்பெனி நேம். இது பாதி பேர் ரியலைஸ் பண்ணுறதில்ல. ஃபோட்டோ காப்பிங்கிறது தான் பேர், ஜெராக்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறது அது அந்த மெஷினோட கம்பெனி நேம். அதே மாதிரி நம்ம வீடுகளில் யூஸ் பண்ணுற டெட்டால் வாங்கலையா அப்படிம்பாங்க. ஆன்டிசெப்டிக் லிக்விட் அப்படிங்கிறது தான் பேர், டெட்டால் அப்படிங்கிறது பிராண்ட் நேம். இந்த மாதிரி ஐடென்டிட்டி எப்படி கொடுக்கறது அப்படிங்கிறது தான். நம்மளையே எடுத்துக்குவோமே, எங்கே போனாலும் செட்டிநாடு கிரேவி, செட்டிநாடு சிக்கன், செட்டிநாடு அந்த ஆர்கிடெக்சர் எல்லாமே செட்டிநாடு ஒரு ஐடென்டிட்டி. ஸ்மார்ட் பிராண்டிங்கை பற்றி தான் அடுத்த ஒரு செஷன். நம்மளுடைய பேச்சாளரை பற்றி சொல்லணும்னா, நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் ஃபேஸ்புக்லேயோ ட்விட்டர்லேயோ 1-2 லைக் வந்தாலே நம்மளாம் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷப்படுவோம். நம்மளுடைய அடுத்த பேச்சாளர் கிட்டத்தட்ட 60,000 ஃபாலோயர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க அவரோட ட்விட்டர் அக்கௌண்ட்டில். A very interesting personality. I would like to invite him to the stage, Mr. Kiruba Shankar. அவருடைய ஹாபீஸ் ரொம்ப யூனிக்கான ஹாபீஸ். ஃப்ரீ டைமில் அவரோட வில்லேஜுக்கு போய் ஆர்கானிக் ஃபார்மிங் பண்ணுறாரு. 5 வயசுலேருந்து 60 வயசு வரைக்கும் எல்லாரும் அவரோட ட்விட்டர் அக்கௌண்ட்டை ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ப்ளீஸ் சார், வெல்கம். நவ் ஐ கால் அப்பான் தி ஜாயிண்ட் செக்ரட்டரி ஆஃப் IBCN, மிஸ்டர் அண்ணாமலை ஃப்ரம் அம்மாஸ், to the stage on to give the memento. Can we have a big round of applause, please? நன்றி திரு அண்ணாமலை அண்ணன் அவர்களே. மிஸ்டர் கிருபா சங்கர், the stage is all yours.
Fantastic city. Thank you so much, Deva. உண்ட மயக்கம் எப்படி இருக்கு? There's a reason why this is called the graveyard session, but we'll make this as interesting as possible. Quick request. Can I request you to drop anything that you have in your hands? Unga kaila notebook, pen, phone, bag, can you just keep it down? Because I'm going to ask everybody to stand up for me. Right? Ellarum dayavu endirukringla. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick quiz session. All right? It's a small quiz, and this is the way how we're going to roll. I'm going to ask you a question, and there'll be 3 choices. You will have to pick one of the 3 choices. So for example, if it is choice A, then you will tell me it is choice A by actually taking a pose. Can I see you do that? Assume you all taken choice A. Neenga enna seivinga? Alda oru periya kummudu. That's very nice. Excellent. If it is choice B, you take both your hands and you keep it on your shoulder like this. Can I see you do that? Excellent. Very nice. If it is choice C, then all of you will tilt towards your right, and then you will do this. All right? Can I see you do that? Excellent. Very good. All right? Are you ready for the question? My first question. Let's see if this is working. Let's check it out. Or maybe you can just help move to the next slide. All right. So this is the question. Which is the largest hotel chain in the world? And the choices are A, B, and C. If your choice is Marriott, ella oru periya gumudu podunga. If it is Hilton, you know what to do. If it is Airbnb, then you do a C. Very nice. Hold your poses. Hold your poses. If you have chosen the kumudu, or if you have kept your fingers on your shoulder, I want you to please be seated down. Only the guys who are tilting towards the side will continue to remain standing. Everybody else, please be seated. Very good, because the correct answer is Airbnb. Right? Would you believe that Airbnb has more rooms than the Marriott and the Hilton put together? In fact, by the year 2020, it is anticipated that Airbnb will be bigger than the 10 largest hotel chains in the world. Who would know? The guys who took choice C, I want you to remain standing, please. Who chose choice C? All right, here's your next challenge. Let's see who's the last man or woman standing. All right, are you ready for the second question? All right, let's check this out. Who's the largest manufacturer of cameras? And your choices are A, Samsung, B, Canon, and C, Nikon. All right? Have you chosen your answers? All right. If you've chosen B and C, I want you to remain seated because the correct answer is Samsung. Good on you guys. Most of you got it right. Now for the final question. Are you guys ready? What's the total number of mobile connections in the world? And your choices are. All of them are billion. It's 1.3 billion, 8.1 billion, or 5 billion. Pick your stance. Very good. If your hands are not on your shoulders, you should remain seated. You should just sit down. So let's see who got it right. All right, brilliant. Congratulations, because the correct answer is 8.1 billion. Thank you. You can be seated now. Thank you. I will send you my good luck and warm hugs across to you. Now, here's the beautiful thing. 8.1 billion mobile phones, and the total world population is 7.5 billion. In 2017, for the first time, there are more mobile phones than humans on planet Earth. And for the first time, people consuming content on mobile phones has exceeded people consuming content on TV, on newspapers, and radio. Would you believe that? This is an astonishing time. When was the last time anybody walked into a post office to buy an inland letter? When was the last time we stood in line at Satyam Theatre to buy a movie ticket? When was the last time we would hail our hands to stop an auto? Gone are the days, Illingla. Time's really moving absolutely swiftly, and that's why it's important no matter what business we run. In a small business architect, medium-sized business architect, or large ones, it's important for us to really leverage the power of digital and social, and that's exactly what we're going to be touching upon. Now, one of the things I want to tell you a real-life incident that happened. I'm going to show you a very grainy picture. You probably won't understand what this is, but this is it's a screen grab from a CCTV camera that was taken in a Washington, D.C. subway. I'm going to explain this to you a little better so you understand. In the left-hand side, you will find a guy standing out here. And he has a violin. He has this baseball cap, a t-shirt, faded jeans, and a bathroom slippers. He just opened up his violin casket, he placed it on the ground, and that's his begging bowl. And then this guy goes on to start playing the best of classical music. Beethoven, Bach, Mozart. And he plays continuously for 3 hours of absolutely mesmerizing music. And after end of 3 hours, he collected $18.50 in pichakase. $18.50. And the guy who played the violin is Joshua Bell, who is arguably the most talented violinist ever. This guy would be the Sachin Tendulkar of violin. Extremely talented and extremely expensive. So the violin that you see in his hands is called a Stradivarius violin, and that's 304 years old. He bought it for 9.5 crore Indian rupees. It's insured, and there's a guy who comes as a bodyguard who comes not to protect the guy, but to protect the violin. Now, let me ask you this. This guy, on Monday morning, he goes and performs for 3 hours in a subway in Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. And then in the evening, he goes and performs in a beautiful auditorium in Washington, D.C. called the DAR Arena, D-A-R Arena. It has a seating capacity of 3,700 people, completely sold out, with each ticket people paying about $600 US. That's about 40,000 rupees a ticket. And these tickets were sold out about 3 months in advance. It was the same guy who was playing in the morning when nobody gave a damn. And I think it's some seriously important lessons for all of us sitting in this auditorium. How are we treating our business? Are we treating our business like the homeless guy in the subway? Or are we treating our business, are we projecting our business like Joshua Bell, the uber talented musician? I think it's very important, because if we don't go and tell the world our worth, then others will not know. And I think it's a very, very powerful one. That's why I think branding and setting the right expectations is very, very important. A couple of years ago, me and my family decided to go for a road trip. The deal on a whim. We got this thing saying that, hey, let's go out for a vacation. So we got into a car, me, my wife, and my 2 daughters, and we started to drive with absolutely no plan, right? So while we were driving, we said, okay, let's go to Munnar. So Chennai lende Munnar kilambiyachuga carla poigine irukom. And then towards evening, it started to get dark, and we obviously had to take a rest somewhere. So we were near Salem, and we decided that, hey, Salem Tangavana, why don't we might as well just go to Aircard and let's just stay out there. So we climbed up the hairpin bends, and we went up. And after we reached the top, then we had to decide a place to stay. So I picked up my mobile phone, I fired up my TripAdvisor app, and saw which are the hotels available. And this was the partial list that I got. There are 27 hotels in Aircard, and the top 3 ones are the ones listed out there. The Regent Hillside Villa and Resort. That looks very fascinating. So I clicked on it, and this is what I got. What an amazing rating. Very rarely have I seen a property with such fantastic rating out there. And then and there I decided that this is the place I'm going to stay. So we drive up out there, and can you guess my shock? That this was not a hotel, this was not a resort. It was a small villa, a 4-bedroom villa. Out of 4 bedrooms, only 3 bedrooms are available for guests, because the owner of this property, Vishu Kaliyappa, lives in one of the rooms. It's a 3-bedroom hotel. And this small property was kicking the ass of every other big property. You're talking about Sterling Holidays, which is supposed to be part of a big conglomerate. 1,000+ crore company. Didn't even hold a candle to this small place. Hotel Chevreuil, about 100+ rooms out there. Nah, didn't hold a candle. The small 3-bedroom place had 6 times more reviews and multiple times better reviews than any of the other hotels. And it's a magical lesson for all of us. You know what was a magical lesson? Vishu Kaliyappa, the owner of this property, figured that TripAdvisor was sending him about 80% of the traffic of the customers towards. So he realized the importance of this. It is not the advertising, it is not radio ads, it is not newspaper ads, but a free presence on TripAdvisor, which is the most important social network for any person in the travel industry or any one of us wanted to go on a holiday. He put all his energies out there. யார்னா வந்து தங்கினாங்கன்னா நல்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸை கவனிச்சு பாருங்க. And then அந்த முடிஞ்சிட்டு இந்த செக் அவுட் பண்ண போகும்போது he would very friendly, very ஆசையா வந்து he will say that, hey, if you enjoyed your experience here, எனக்கு ஒரு சின்ன ஹெல்ப் பண்ண முடியுமாங்க. அந்த TripAdvisorல வந்துட்டு நான் உங்களுக்கு லிங்க் அனுப்புகிறேன். நீங்கள் அதில் வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் ஆனஸ்ட்டாக நீங்கள் எப்படி ஃபீல் பண்ணீங்களோ அதை வந்து ஒரு ரிவ்யூ போட முடியுமாங்க. He takes that extra effort. And you know what? Success breeds success. And now you know what scenario out is. So similar lesson for each one of us sitting out there. What is our business? Who are our target audience? Where are they present? And the magic answer is, are you there? Are you there on LinkedIn if you are a B2B business? If it's a B2C business, have you built your company's profile solidly on Facebook? Instagram is the one that is overshooting every other social networking site, including Facebook. Are you there on Instagram? Do you even know how it works? Quora.com, the world's best question answer website, is the only social networking site in the world which was started in the United States, but Indians are the #1 users on the site. Have you gone out there and answered, looked at questions in your area of domain, and have you taken the effort to answer them? You know, these are amazingly simple, low-hanging fruits for us to really brand our organization and ourselves. I think it's very, very important out there. But not all of us are lucky. Here is a beautiful resort, well-manicured gardens, in the coconut grove, kaathu, first class, beautiful swimming pool, excellent, nice rooms. I wouldn't blink an eyelid. If somebody said that, hey, go and stay in this place, I wouldn't even blink an eyelid. I think you guys will do the same. However, I was shocked that you go to TripAdvisor, the same site, and this is what I saw. 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 2 stars, 1 star, 1 star, and you know why? You want to take a guess? Which is this resort? Absolutely right. 10 points to you. It's this resort. You probably may not recognize, but you will recognize this. Right? Imagine the poor owner of that resort. Right? Imagine the poor owner of the resort. For the sake of political neutrality, I'm going to quickly turn over the slide. But the guy would have spent his blood, sweat, and tears to build the resort. In his own heart of heart, he would have gone in and hired the best of people. He would have gone in and really done proper service. For no fault of his, just because some people from a political party decided to go house arrest themselves for a month in this resort, this guy is facing the brunt. People would have come and stayed only for a few weeks and gone, but he has to face the consequences for the rest of his life, because it makes that much more difficult. You know, if your TripAdvisor ranking is 1, and that's it. Your ranking amongst all the Chennai resorts and everything will be at the bottom. And like how we know in Google search results, nobody goes beyond the first 3 pages. And if your ranking drops, your business online is as good as dead. And that's why it's very important. And you know, one of the reasons why I felt sad for him is because I think whoever runs the management didn't even realize the impact what it is getting. A Vishu Kalyappa with just a 3-bedroom one realizes that. But a person who spends crores and crores of rupees into a resort doesn't realize it. I think it's a lesson for all of us. Keep that in mind. We saw this particular case in United again. You've seen this online on YouTube. A guy who paid his ticket was pulled off, yanked off the flight because they overbooked it. And you know what? The CEO, Oscar Munoz, he went and didn't even apologize. He said, I praise my employees for doing what they are supposed to do. What a sad thing for him to say when you pull off a guy, a paid passenger. And this is what the world responds. Are you ready for this? 3,600 crores, 3,600 kodi rubai was wiped off the company within 1 week because of the absolute insensitivity shown. And the people spoke. And they started talking bad about the company. They canceled their tickets at United Airlines. And, and then what he does? He comes and apologizes. This is some of the memes. Of course, நம்ம மக்கள்லாம் memes-na உடனே chance கிடைச்சிடக்கூடாது. And, it really did them massive damage. So the key lesson for us to learn is, even if you're not promoting your company online through digital and social, don't be like the ostrich in a desert. அது தெரியுமாங்க இந்த ஆஸ்ட்ரிச் சிண்ட்ரோம்? இந்த ஆஸ்ட்ரிச் வந்து என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க தமிழ்ல? நீர்க்கோழியா? நோ, நெருப்பு கோழி. Whenever somebody attacks, and எதனா வந்து some attacks, what it'll do is it'll immediately அதோட தலையை வந்து it'll dip inside the sand, desert sand, because if it can't see danger, then the danger doesn't exist. Right? Don't be like that. Even if you're not on social media, others can wreak havoc on your brand. And you got to be very conscious of what are people talking about your brand and how can you take corrective action. It's very, very important for you to do that. And a guy who really understood this is a guy called PC Mustafa, who hails from a very small village in Kerala. That's how he looks like. Typically வந்துட்டு very below standard. அப்பா வந்துட்டு தென்னை மரம் ஏறி இந்த கல்லுலாம் இது பண்ணுவாங்க இல்லையா, that's his business. Right? He fought his way up and then went to Ireland. He was actually in Dubai for about 5-6 years. And then in one of the time when he was on a vacation, அவங்க கசின்ஸ் வந்துட்டு பெங்களூரில் வந்து ஒரு சின்ன பொட்டிக்கடை ரன் பண்ணுறாங்க. அந்த பொட்டிக்கடையில் போயிட்டு உட்காந்துருப்பார் இவர், சும்மா ஒரு கம்பெனி கொடுக்கறதுக்கோசரம். அப்போ வந்து he realized something very interesting. Ladies and bachelors, right, who are working in an IT company in Bangalore would particularly come and buy one item from the store. ஒரு பிளாஸ்டிக் கவரில் இட்லி மாவு, தோசை மாவு, அப்படி வந்து ஒரு ரப்பர் பேண்ட் போட்டு 1 கிலோ 2 கிலோ அது மாதிரி. And he said, wow, இவ்வளோ சேல்ஸ் ஆகுதா? He went to other pottikadais and he realized a similar trend. He goes back, puts his resignation. He was working in Citibank. Comes back to India and buys wet grinders and grinds idli maavu. And he realized that if people are buying non-branded one, maybe they will be able to pay a little bit more premium for a well-packaged brand. What a smashing success this has gone. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி இந்தியா ஆஸ்திரேலியா இந்த சீரீஸில் வந்து they were one of the sponsors. You probably might have caught their ad. Azim Premji, the owner of Wipro, has invested in their company about 100 crores. Now the company, this brand is now worth about 1,000 crores. இன்னைக்கு செஷனில் வந்துட்டு one of the fundamental lessons what I have learned is that வேலை செய்யறதுக்கு பதில் வேலை கொடுக்கணும். And I think PC Mustafa is a classic, outstanding example of this particular case. Working as a middle manager in a Citibank, he comes up, sees an opportunity, follows his dream. 1,000 crores, right? What a powerful lesson that is. And then he's now expanding to other parts as well. Just an absolutely phenomenal one. Again, I'm going to tell you some very, very key, interesting examples for you to understand. Right? How many of you here have had pimples? Raise your hand. Either you, your daughter, your son, okay? What if pimples could be a multi-million-dollar industry? That's exactly what this lady decided. Her name is Sandra Lee. She's a dermatologist in Los Angeles. And there are thousands of skincare specialists. India le kocha kocha irukanga. What's the big deal? Right? Nothing big deal. But she did something very interesting. Every patient who comes to her clinic, she will say, உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரேட் ஒன்று ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணுறேங்க, இதுதான் உங்கள் ரேட்டு, பட் இந்த ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்டை வந்துட்டு நான் வீடியோகிராஃப் பண்ண விட்டிங்கன்னா, ஒரு வீடியோ கேமரா வச்சு ஒருத்தர் வருவார், ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன கேமரா பிடிச்சின்னு இருப்பார், நான் உங்களுக்கு அந்த க்ளீன் பண்ணும்போது அது நீங்கள் விட்டிங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 25% இன்ஸ்டன்ட் டிஸ்கவுண்ட்டுங்க. And many of the people said, oh, 25% discount, sure, video எடுத்துக்கோங்க. And then she started a video channel on YouTube. It's called The Pimple Popper. What if I told you, it's just unbelievable. This video channel of this doctor cleaning pimples and warts has 2.5 million subscribers. 25 லட்சம் பேர் have subscribed to this YouTube channel. Just watching her perform these, the seed aitana seed pitchin varum illingla, that's all the videos are about. It's in the arugalippa irukum paakumbodhe. It's very unnerving. That's why I'm not even showing you the video. But there are 25 lakh people who are fanatically watching these videos, and she's built a beautiful brand for herself. She has a roaring business, consulting business. Appointment vandittu 1 month ku munadiye book aidudhu. And now she's very smart. She's launched her own, creams. And it's now a multi-million dollar business. SLMD stands for Sandra Lee MD, for medical doctor. What a brilliant one. And all because, and somebody interviewed her, Fortune magazine interviewed her and said, what's the success? The success was, I decided to use videos. How many of us have done this? Right? Again, it's a brilliant, brilliant lesson for all of us. Have you heard, how many of you have heard of this conference called TED? Raise your hand. All right, excellent. I would have loved to ask you what TED is, but in the interest of time, I want to explain this to you. It stands for Technology, Entertainment, Design. It was started by a guy who felt that all of us live the life of a Kenneth Tavalai. Kenneth Tavalai, a frog in a well. Engineering college படிக்கிறோம், அதுக்கு முடிச்சிட்டு வந்து இன்ஜினியரிங் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் எழுதுகிறோம், அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து போயிட்டு ஒரு இன்ஜினியரிங் ஜாபை சேர்றோம், ஒரு இன்ஜினியரிங் மேகசீனு, இன்னொரு இன்ஜினியரை கல்யாணம் பண்ணுறோம், அப்படியே so you got engineering conferences, so we live a very monolithic life. And so one of the founders of this TED conference realized that some of the smartest, most successful people in the world were people who were exposed to different faculties in life. Law, medicine, arts, science, technology. In the pala domains la vandu access irukravanga dhaan vandu their intelligence is far better. So a guy starts to design to do this conference where they would invite 600 people and invite amazing people to come in. Just look at that awesome auditorium. But you have to be an achiever even to be invited to the conference. And if you are invited, you have to pay $1,500. Right? That's about ஒரு லட்சம் ரூபாய் ஒரு கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்க்கு. அதுவும் நீ இன்வைட் பண்ணியிருந்தா தான். அந்த இன்வைட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு you must have achieved something in life. And then the original founder of this TED sold the conference to another guy. I'll show you what the guy looks like. This is the guy. His name is Chris Anderson. He bought the conference and did the unbelievable thing. You know what he did? Do you see this camera out there, the cameraman out there? It's not, he didn't hire those type of cameras. He hired the cameras that you see in IPL matches. Those big long ones. 8 of them, shot each and every talk in Ultra HD. And put all the videos for free on YouTube and on TED.com. All the videos for free. And others said, hey, Chris, enna paithiyama unakku? Enna madathanama pandra? On one hand, you're being super, IIT Madras Mari, you're being very selective, handpick, and then you charge them money. And then on the other hand, you are shooting all these videos and giving it away for free. What, do you think you're Mother Teresa? Your business will die. You're committing professional suicide. And you know what Chris Anderson said? Boss, this is my business. I'm going to run it my way. And then he started to invite some of the most amazing people. This is Larry Page, the founder of Google. This is Bill Gates and some of the biggest achievers around the world, and started to come. And when you look at those talks, these are scintillating talks. People call it the brain orgasm. Somebody like me and many thousands of others would never spend $1 lakh and then another 50,000 to fly to the US to attend this conference. But when you look at those talks, it's like absolutely amazing. And the interesting thing is, and here's the funny thing, because people looked at those awesome talks, and the awesome people, imagine, there's this guy called Satyabrata Dam, the only Indian to have climbed Mount Everest twice. He is the only Indian to have walked to the North Pole, and he's walked to the South Pole, and because he was the director of Indian Navy, he's gone to the deepest part of planet Earth. Imagine you're sitting with him in a round table like that and having lunch and having a conversation on the power and the beauty of planet Earth. Unbeatable, right? No video will do justice to it. And people started to flock for TED conferences. And now, just to let you know, yesterday I got an email from TED that's saying that the fee for 2019, the fee for the conference 2019 is going to become $10,000 US. Every 1,500 US dollars. He gives it all for free, and now he has doubled the people. Instead of 600 people, he now takes in 1,200 people. Instead of $1,500, he's charging $10,000, and it gets sold out in under a few weeks. The power of giving away your knowledge. And I think it's the same lesson for us. Each one of us should start to take that lesson from TED, and even from a guy like this guy, Frederick Harren, a Swedish speaker now settled in Singapore, is a classic example of how to build a brand. He's one of the top 20 speakers in the world. No support staff. He's a single-man company. People pay his average speaking fee, like the time that I'm taking right now, you can't book him under $20,000 US. He has gone to 64 countries, and last year alone, he spoke in about 25 countries around the world. And how did he do it? First, I'll tell you, before telling how did he do it, let me tell you what happened because what he did. Take a look at this. He owns 3 islands, a single guy. His entire job is just to speak professionally on stage. 2 islands in Sweden and 1 island in Philippines. And the beautiful thing, how he did it, he gives away all his knowledge. He has this site called professionalspeaking.com, and he tells the world, how can you become a professional speaker? How can you travel the world around? And how can you make money? Just being effusively benevolent in sharing his knowledge and the wisdom to others. And like they say, it'll all come back with multitudes. And now he's very, very, very successful. So I've got exactly a minute, so I'm going to go. Excuse while I skip some of these things, but few points that I wanted to say. I feel that in a conference, when you come to a conference like these, and there are 650 of us, only few people really stand out in the crowd for me. I think people who can demonstrate their knowledge, who can demonstrate their expertise, who can prove to the world that they have it in them, are the guys who are well respected. And I think the authors authoring a book in the subject area that you want to specialize will be a huge deal. Naalik Kalaila, you will hear this man come and speak at 8:45 in the morning. Many of us know Gopinath because of Niya Nana program. How many of you know he has a business also? Raise your hands if you do. Right? That's about 4.5 people in this auditorium. He runs a very successful business called Talk Shop. Gopi, are you here? No. He runs a called Talk Shop, where he does training programs for colleges, engineering colleges and various other colleges on entrepreneurship, on personality development and communication skills. And it's a very lucrative business, by the way. Right? He's authored 7 books, and those are door openers. Without those books, he will be seen as a TV star, a video jockey. That's what we all start to think. So I think books play a very powerful role. And tomorrow evening, you will see this gentleman, and never ever miss this guy's session. Dr. Velumani. Raise your hands if you know him already. 80% of you don't know him. Don't miss this session. From 500 rupees in his pocket, runs away from a small village in Coimbatore, and now he's worth 3,800 crores. But that's not the beautiful part about it. The beautiful part is how he tells that story. Every single time I've heard him speak, and I kid you not when I say this, always a standing ovation at the end. He is not a man of words. He doesn't come and sweep you away through his language. He doesn't come and tell you fancy, flowery language. It's the power of storytelling. I think as entrepreneurs, as business people, I think it is very, very important for us to get the gift of the gab, to be a powerful storyteller. Come and own this stage. I think it makes very important out there to make a mark. Every single time I've gone and spoken at a stage has resulted in businesses coming my way. Not a single card done, not a single, never talk about business, but I think people have respect. So I think this is something that I think all of you should really start to learn. And my time is up. Thank you, Ma. And so what I want to do is, as a way of saying thank you for coming here, as a way of saying thank you for not sleeping, I've just finished authoring this book and launched it, and I want to give it away, a copy of it for you. If you feel, so this is a book on how to write a book, and I've interviewed very successful people, successful best-selling authors around the world, and I'm happy to give it to you for free. All you have to do is just send me an email, and that's it. So I want to say thank you so much. You've been wonderful, and really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you.